Jai Ho, my dear students. I am Ratnakar Suryavanshi from SK Public School. In the last class, we have learnt about the new terminologies. Also, we learnt as well as another point we have added to this, and especially in the last class, we learnt about the Guptas, right? Mainly, and even about the chroniclers. Also, we have learnt in the last class. Today, we will take one more concept in the history first lesson called tracing changes through 1,000 years. In the history lesson called tracing changes through 1,000 years, we will take up another concept in this, and that is new social and political groups. Which one? New social and political groups. See, new social and political groups. So about this concept we will learn in the today's class. See that the study of the 1,000 years of past, especially the study of 1,000 years between 700 to 1750, the study of the 1,000 years between 700 to 1750, it was the challenging task. It was a huge challenge to the historians. Why it was a huge challenge? Because variety of developments took place. Many number of developments occurred in this period, between 700 to 1750. Because of this, it became a challenge to the historians to study this. And see that in this period, new technologies emerged. New technologies also emerged in this period. Those new technologies, see, the Persian wheel was emerged. Which one? The Persian wheel. The Persian wheel was also emerged in this, and this Persian wheel was used in irrigation. In what this Persian wheel was used? The Persian wheel was used in irrigation. This was also emerged, appeared, and even see spinning wheel in weaving. Spinning wheel in weaving was also emerged in this period, as well as firearms in combat were used. Firearms means rifles, guns, banduk we call no. Those also emerged which were used in combat, which were used in battles or in fights or in wars. See, new foods were emerged, beverages were arrived in the subcontinent during this period. New foods, various types of variety of crops emerged, as well as beverage crops also emerged between 700 to 1750. For example, potatoes arrived to our subcontinent, as well as corn arrived, maize we call, as well as chili was also arrived. Tea and coffee, both are beverage crops. Tea and coffee, those also came to India. The people who came to the subcontinent from outside, along with them, they brought the new foods, new beverage crops, as well as new technologies to this Indian subcontinent. As a result, this was the period of economic, political, social, and cultural changes. Because of the arrival of people with their different innovations, crops and all, beverage crops and all, because of this, what happened? This period was the period of economic, political, social, and cultural changes. Because of this, variety of changes took place between this period in the Indian subcontinent. This was also a period of great mobility. Great mobility means groups were started. Between this period, emergence of groups were started in the Indian subcontinent. Groups of people traveled long distances in search of opportunities. In search of chances, groups of people traveled long distances. And see, the subcontinent held immense wealth and the possibilities of people to carve a fortune. During this period, the subcontinent held immense wealth. Indian subcontinent had huge wealth. It had huge wealth. Prosperity was there. So that's why it created a way, it created a chance to the people to be more prosperous, to be more wealthy. One group of people who became important of this period were the Rajputs. I mean, one of the important group which became important or which emerged between this period was the Rajputs. Whom we call them? We call them Rajputs. So Rajputs emerged between this period. And between the 8th and the 14th centuries, the term was applied more generally to a group of warriors who claimed Kshatriya caste status. I mean, between 8th and 14th centuries. Between 8th and 14th. Between 8th and 14th centuries, I am talking. See, this term was applied more generally to a group of warriors. Who claimed themselves that they belong to the Kshatriya caste. 4 Varna system we can hear right from the Vedas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Kshatriya means the caste of warriors or the clan or the Varna of soldiers or the kings, emperors. So Rajputs claimed themselves that they belong to the Kshatriya caste. Rajput means Rajaputras. Rajputs means Rajaputras. So the Rajputs became important group between 700 to 1750 Common Era in the Indian subcontinent. The term called Rajputs not only included just rulers or chieftains, but also the term Rajputs included commanders as well as soldiers, those who served in armies of different monarchs all over the Indian subcontinent. Monarchs means kings or the ruling families or the empire emperors. See here, important point. Here we can understand that. See, a chivalric code of conduct, extreme valor and great sense of loyalty were the qualities attributed to Rajputs by their poets and bards. See, what were the important qualities of the Rajputs? See, chivalric code of conduct, extreme discipline, extreme valor, extreme daring, as well as great sense of loyalty, great sense of honesty or loyalty. These were the important qualities of Rajputs which were described by their own poets and bards. So about this, these are the important qualities of the Rajputs. See here, bards are the stories. Bards are the stories created by the Rajputs. These are the stories. So in those stories, Rajputs' qualities were described. Poets means you know already. Then see that throughout this period, there was a gradual clearing of forest and expansion of agriculture. During this period, what happened? Forest clearing was increased. Destruction of forest increased and expansion of agriculture took place between this period. And even see, a change was also took place. What was that change? A change faster and more complete in some areas than others. In the Indian subcontinent, clearing forest and expansion of agriculture was in a rapid way. Took place in the Indian subcontinent comparing to the other regions of the world at this time. And see that here, changes in their habitat forced many forest dwellers to migrate. Because of the destruction of forest, what happened? Changes took place. The tribal communities which lived in the forest dwellers who lived in the forest, they were forced to migrate from those forests to other places because of the destruction of forest, and others started tilling the land and became peasants. Other people started to cultivate the land and they became tillers or the farmers or the cultivators. And these new peasant groups gradually began to be influenced by the regional markets, chieftains, priests, as well as monasteries and temples. So soon what happened? Peasant groups were connected or gradually began to have a connection or influenced. These groups were influenced by the regional markets, local markets we call, as well as these were influenced by the chieftains, I mean local ruler, or even these were influenced by the priest, rishi we call, saint, as well as these were influenced by the monasteries. Monasteries means matha we call in Kannada mathagalu, as well as by the temples, devasthanagalu. By these all, the peasant communities or the peasant groups were influenced at that time. And see, even and these all the groups were required to pay taxes. I mean peasant groups were required to pay taxes and offer foods and services to local chieftains or the local rulers. What they have to do? They have to pay tax, otherwise they have to give their foods or they have to give their services to whom? To the local lords, I mean to the local rich landlords or to the local ruler called chieftains. As a result, what happens is significant economic and social differences emerged. Because of this, what happened? Large, widened economic and social differences emerged between this period in the Indian subcontinent. Some possessed more productive land and others kept cattle, and some combined artisanal work with agricultural activity during the lean season. What happened? Some peasants become rich, they prosperous, and some peasants with cultivating the land, they also grew what? Cattle. They also kept cattle. And some combined, I mean some people with agriculture, they continued artisanal work like basket making, pottery making, etc. And in this type, variety of occupations emerged with the agriculture, with linking to the agriculture during this period. And even see that as society became more differentiated, as society had more differences, at this time people were grouped into jatis or subcastes, and they on the basis of what? On the basis of their occupations. See, during this time only jatis emerged in India. What emerged? Jatis, I mean subcastes were emerged in India. On what basis? On the basis of their background, on the basis of the occupation they conducted. On the basis of occupations they conducted, on the basis of their backgrounds, what happened? Jatis were emerged. Jatis means subcastes were emerged in the Indian subcontinent. And see here, say important point, ranks were not fixed permanently. Ranks were not fixed permanently and varied according to the power, influence and resources controlled by members of the jati. Ranks, I mean first class, second class we call, no? So first group, second group, these were not fixed permanently at that time. This was dependent on the wealth or on the resources controlled by the jati or the influence they had or their influence which occurred on other communities. On this base, the rank of the jatis was decided, but it was not at all permanent. And the status of the same jati could vary from area to area. I mean the status of same caste was varied. Same subcaste was varied from one area to another area. Status, position was varied of the same caste from one area to another area or same subcaste. Jatis framed their own rules and regulations to manage the conduct of their members. What happens? See, jatis had their own rules and regulations for what? To manage their own conduct. Conduct means here behavior. To manage the behavior of their own community members. So because of this, jatis had their own rules and regulations just to control the behavior of the members of those jatis or subcastes. And these regulations were enforced by an assembly of elders. I mean elders were there. Those elders together they created one assembly. That assembly took the responsibility of enforcing these laws or the rules or regulations on the members of their same subcaste or jati, and described in some areas as a jati panchayat. These assemblies of elders were considered or called as what? Jati panchayat also in some areas. But jatis were also required to follow the rules of their villages. Jatis were also required to follow the rules of the whole villages also. And several villages were governed by a chieftain, I mean local ruler. Together they were only one small unit of a state. Several villages were governed, which means controlled, administered, ruled by a chieftain, local ruler. So together these all the villages made one small unit of the state. So this is about new social and political groups. So here we mainly learnt about what the changes took place in this period and the emergence of Rajputs, and how the caste or how the sub-caste or how the jatis emerged in the Indian subcontinent. About these all the things we learnt in this class. So in the next class we will learn about region and empire. We will learn about region and empire in the next class. Thank you. Jai Hind.